We don't really have that depth right now, so I wish I could agree with your question, but we're not there because we really, outside of Colin Hartman, who's injured right now, we don't have anybody that's played any minutes on our front line. So we have 3 freshmen and Max Bielefeld. Max is going to be a good player, and our other freshmen will be good players, but who will be good players. But we don't have that depth. So when we have it, we have a chance to be, if we get it, we have a chance to be a good team, but we've got a long way to go to get to that point.
One of the biggest keys to defensive efficiency improving back to where it was several years ago?
Say that again.
What are the 2 or 3 biggest keys for your defensive efficiency to improving? Back to
reading screens, much better. Getting around those screens. Last year we had some just unfathomable delays in reading screening situations, especially like the Michigan State game's a great example. You practice all for 3 days to get ready for this myriad of screens that you're going to see, and yet we don't get around them the right way. I think there's that level of toughness using your quickness and speed. I think we've got to have, the biggest thing is we've got to be much better at the rim. We've got to have a free throw difference, and we're still in the top 3 in the country in the last 4 years in free throw attempts. We got to get that back up, and at the same time make sure we're not giving a lot of free throws up. And we've got to get back. You know, a year ago we led the league in 3-point percentage defense, and last year we didn't. We've got to get back to that level.
Has it been a little difficult getting going in practice with the injuries of Colin and Thomas in the front court?
Oh, no question, no question. It's made us adjust a lot more, but you just give more people opportunities. But when you've got people, and Colin just got hurt the other day, so he's been around more. But we've not had one day where anybody that I would project top 10 has all been there together. And so Thomas's situation is really the hardest, because it's hard to have any player out, but it's especially hard when you've got a freshman that's going to have a significance of a potential for a role that he has. So, but it's early, and it sets us back, but it's a long haul. It's a long process, and we just want to make sure we're building towards it, and it gives a chance for other guys to get more reps.
Do you see more guys, maybe, you've talked a lot about versatility, does that give maybe more guys a chance to kind of show what they can do in different spots with those opportunities opening up?
Well, we're really still into the concept phase of so much right now. So it's really, in answer to your question, yes, guarding different people, being paired up with different people, a lot of that. We haven't put a lot of offense in yet, with the exception of the concepts of what we want to do out of things, a couple plays. But it's really just getting guys to understand the spacing on offense, and really, how to take spacing away on defense, and how to use their length. We're having a real hard time with having a group of guys understand how to use their length, and deflections in practice are down, and it just really learning how to spread out, swarm the dribbler, a lot of those type of things that you need to be really good at. We're spending a lot of time on that because we're not very good at that yet.
Have you ever felt frustration from Thomas being not to get on the court yet?
Frustration? No, frustration's not a word. He wants to be out there. Hunger, doing whatever he needs to do rehab-wise. And no, Thomas has got a great attitude and a tremendous energy. I'm sure it bothers him, but I don't sense frustration. I don't know. I mean, we got a lot of improving to do to find out. We've got to be resilient, and we've got to improve a lot. So I can't project like that.
Maybe better question. What are the important things that have to happen for this backcourt?
Improvement on both ends of the court. Just continuing to get better on a daily basis.
For a guy that's as big and strong as Thomas Bryant is, and the pressure that he will put on his lower body, is he concerned of a foot injury that lingers into the season and then into the Big Ten play, the grind of the Big Ten?
Well, that's why we shut him down. He's not as strong in his lower body. His squat went up this summer about 150 to 150 pounds. His vertical jump went up 9 inches, so his lower body is not as strong as it will be. But no, this was just something that happened. So, we've got a 35-year experienced trainer, some of the best doctors in the country, literally, in Dr. Rank, and so we don't have any real worries about that.
The exhibition games you scheduled this year, how much did you consider, like, the early test you have going to Maui? It seems like a little bit more aggressive as far as the opponents you brought in.
That's why we waited. That's why we waited for some things to play out, and to see the Maui matchups and things of that nature. And I think we got the best of both worlds with speed, quickness. Both are high-level, championship-level programs. One in Canada, one in the United States. But we'll see the speed. You had a chance to see Ottawa. To me, it doesn't matter where they're from. You want to play the best teams. They know how to win. They'll come to win. They may win. Bellarmine will come to win. They may win. I think when you've got a matchup, to me, the optimal thing for me to do would not only be a scrimmage, and if we wouldn't have the situation that we had this year with needing the home games because of the Maui trip, we'd have scrimmaged West Virginia. But that was something we talked about late, but we just couldn't do it with the scheduling the way it has to be. But still, the ideal thing to me would be to go play a road exhibition against a Division II team like that. That would be, I wish somebody would allow that to happen. We'd jump on board in a second. All right, if we had enough home games, right? At Indiana, you got to make sure you have enough home games. But next best thing is bringing Bellarmine in because they know how to win. They'll be fearless. He's a great coach. And we're going to have 2 tests. They're going to be like regular season tests for us to get us ready because it's really easy to look at Maui and forget that we've got Austin P, Eastern Illinois, and especially Creighton, before that. And then we turn back around and get to go to Duke after we get back from Maui. So we've got a really hard road, and I'm glad this will help prepare us for it.
What was the process of bringing Derek into the program, into that role?
Well, it was really one that I wanted to hire him. I mean, he's known I wanted to put him in there if he ever decided to get into coaching. And this became something to just have somebody else that has been a part of it, right? I mean, it was really, the prerequisite to me was getting a former player and somebody that was still close enough to them that it could almost fill a big brother role a little bit, right? And I just love his personality. He's one of the great leaders I've ever been around. He was the unsung leader, okay, of our team at Indiana when we were number 1 in the country because he could make everybody laugh. He could play hard. He was a study in dealing with adversity, with all the injuries that he had to deal with. He constantly got better. Great with everybody. And this may be a 1-year thing, right? I mean, he may go back and play. But we gave him the option that if he was interested, this was something that we could potentially do. And that doesn't take away from any other former players. And hopefully this will be a position when he moves on, that whether he moves up in coaching with us or with somebody else or moves on back to play, that becomes something that we can do with another former player. But I think it's a great way to get him started.
What specifically can he do in that role? I think that's a question that I've had.
Well, he just can't coach. He can't practice. He works out, but he can't work out with them. But he can be around for everything. He can be with them constantly. I mean, and he will be. So he can be involved in on-campus recruiting. He can be involved in coaches' meetings. He just can't coach them per se on basketball. But just having Derek around, his presence, the life skills he can provide, that's enough.
Talking about, I guess, mentality and focus, I know you don't like to put the cart before the horse, but at the same time, Tom Izzo even said today that he thinks you guys are maybe just right behind Maryland in terms of being near the top of the conference. The sort of mentality of proving people wrong last year was something your players really sort of seized on to, and proving preseason predictions and those sorts of things wrong. What's different about approaching a season where you are kind of expected to be at the top? How did these guys handle it, and what's your role in helping them?
Well, first off, I haven't seen Tom practice, and he hasn't seen us practice, so I'll put him with Maryland, too. Maybe above him, but no, but either way. But you know what? I don't know, we just want to get better every day. I mean, it's just what it is. It's not about the past. It's not about looking too far into the future with it. We have a long way to go. The more that they understand that, the better we'll get. And we're just moving on every day, and the next step is next game on the schedule is Ottawa. So it's not a reflective time. It's not a look ahead time. It's a what do we got to get better at time, and I got a notebook full of things that we have to get better at. So that's really what the focus is.